Okay, so lecture recap, lecture 5. I think that this is not the lecture. I have to check. Yeah, so this is the one. Okay, so in previous lecture, we had objects, classes, and references in mutability. And now we are going to, in this lecture, we are going to have 4 main topics. Strings and formatting of the strings. Topic 2 would be files. Topic 3 is lists. And topic 4 is sets and dictionaries. Okay, so a string, we all know that strings are those values which are literally processed as they are, like welcome to CSE4 IP, and they can be, we can use single or double quotes, all right, and uh, we cannot perform actually any maths or arithmetic on them, though we have some operators we have seen that we can compare them, and how we know that some strings are smaller than other strings, and how some strings are greater than some other strings. Though we can do that, we can format them, and we can split them and all that. So here you see that, and we also see that we can introduce new line character. We have seen in in the past, but we also know that we can. I think we have done it or not, but we can introduce a tab in between the strings. So here in that particular instance, you see we have introduced a backslash tab, escape character here for the tab, which is when it prints, it is introducing a space here. Okay. Literals we have covered. I'll be moving a little faster tonight. So we have covered backslash T. Here you say that we are printing an escape character. Okay, so when we say that backslash within the quotes, if we want to print another quote, because this is in the quote, then we need to use we need to use the escape character. We cannot, if we close our single quote within the quote, the print statement thinks that you have already closed your string, and it will not treat the rest of this string as the part of that string. So we need to mention that now we need to print this apostrophe or single quote, okay, as an escape character, and it prints basically this. So when we want to print here, so like so, you see that if we want to print backslash in the within the string, we need to provide two backslashes, so it'll just print one backslash. If we want to print single quote, we need to print backslash single quote or apostrophe, and that is when the string itself is in the single quotes. And if it is in the single quotes, and we want to print the apostrophe, the double quotes, we can simply use double quotes. But if the string itself is enclosed in double quotations or double quotes, then we need to use the escape character. For new line, we know that we have backslash n for the horizontal tab, or few spaces. I believe it is 8 spaces by default, so it is, and the tab is backslash t. Okay, so here you see we have some examples. So now you see that the string itself is enclosed in single quotations, and we want it to print this. Now it starts with this. Now these two are treated as what? Backslashes are treated as a single slash, and now this backslash and this apostrophe is treated as this apostrophe. Then O is there, and then we have another backslash and apostrophe, which is a single apostrophe, and then we have got the forward slash. Is we do not need any escape character for the forward slash. Okay. we wanted to print the double quotes as well. So if they are enclosed in the in the single quotes, that's good. We do not really need that. But if we do use them, they will be printed. If we do use the escape character, still it'll be printed. But it is not required until if it was or they were single quotes. Then we must provide that escape sequence or escape character. Okay. Mm, double quotes a string, so and they are useful. So for instance, you want to print I don't need to escape, and then uh, you don't need, in that case, if you use single apostrophe, that will be fine. But if you want to write it isn't the real you, so you want to print these double quotes, okay, in the print statement, and the whole string is already in the double quotes, then you must use backslash or the escape sequence in that case. Okay. And manipulating strings. So we know that a string is a character, a sequence of characters, and we can also access them one by one, all the characters. So we have some functions. We have seen the length function or len function, which returns the length of the total string. And when we try printing the length for this this sequence, it prints 3. Because if I ask you why, because backslash n is treated as a single character, one for A, one for B, and one for this backslash n. This backslash n is a new line character, but it is treated as a single character. That's why we won't be taking it as 2 characters. It is basically a single character. Okay. So indices. So index of the first character in the string is 0. Okay, and the last index is the length of the string minus 1. So if it is 10 characters long, or the length is 10, then what do we have? The length, the last index of that string is 9 or minus 1. We will see when we have the. So here is one example. So if we have a Star Wars, the string, then capital S, you see it starts with the 0 index, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, and we can use the reverse indexing. If you say the minus 1 from, if you want to fetch or refer to minus 1 character at minus 1 of the string, it is the last character. So minus 2 is the second last, third last, and so on. Okay.
Dr. Noor, how do you know if you're using negative indexing or not? So if you look at R, for example, R could be position 7 or it could be position -2. So how do you know?
It's up to you, because you would be using it. We will see, because they are, let me show you. So this is the index where you want to mention. So you want to mention that, let me fetch the first string. So you say, what is, let me fetch me the first character from the string. So you say, fetch me zero position, or index the character at index 0, or fetch me the character which is at -2. So it's up to you. So from where you want to start.
Yeah, I know, but what I'm saying is sometimes, if we take position 0, it's also -9 on negative indexing. So that's the same letter S each time.
It would be the same, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how do you know which index you're using? Or
So
it's up to you?
It's up to you. So it depends on the context where you are you processing it from this side. Okay, when you start processing, when you start from the right left hand side, you want to start your string from and start processing your string from the left hand side. It is recommended, or it is, of course, you're going to use the positive indices this way. All right, when you are starting from the left. But when you want to start processing from the right, so then you use negative
When would you
indices, sorry.
use, in what instances would you use the negative instances? I suppose that's my question, because I can see going from left to right, but I'm trying to understand why would you go from right to left using minus?
Yeah, so given this, I've given, let me fetch my again, maybe notepad and let me
Doctor, would an example be where we have address as a string and the postcode is the last four characters, so we can use the negative index to retrieve the postcode?
That's a good example. Okay, I understand
yeah.
it now.
So you see that, yeah. So we have one string S1, and we say that it is A, B, C, D, E, or whatever the value is. Now, I'm not sure that what is the length of this string, and you want to just refer to the last character of that string. What do you do in that case? S1, what? For for the first character, you know that it's zero and always zero, but you don't know that what is the length of that of that total string. Then how do you fetch the last character directly?
We just have to
Minus
put
one.
len before it. Yeah.
Yeah. But if we do not have that provision, now let's work out this one. So say we do not have the provision for negative indices. So what do we do in that case? So we first calculate length of this total string, okay, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so we say n is length of S1, which is 12, okay? And then you say that you want to go and length of, or n, we say, because we have the variable now n, and we want
don't
to,
capital S1, you need to lowercase.
yeah, so minus 1, it is now minus 1, n minus 1 would be what? It would be the 11th, because 0, this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so this would give you 11th character. So this is how you use and if it is the second last character, what do you say? N minus 2. So Python has made it easy, and it just removes this n and it says that you can use it this way. Do you understand now? Or is it still confusing? And maybe few things are not clear at the moment, but when we discuss slicing, there was one very good example that if there is a postcode example, the first or car registration numbers, so first part and the second part, and we want to fetch the first part and the second part separately, then we can use this negative and slicing as well. But this is usually when you want to process it from the left, you use positive indices. When you want to start processing from the right, you use negative indices. Yeah, someone was asking a question or what?
Yes, Dr. No. So in that case, that S1 minus 2 is Y, is it?
S2.
minus 2. In last case, in last example,
Here, this slide or the previous slide?
a previous slide,
Yes.
not this one. The even okay.
So you see that now minus 1 refers to minus 1 refers to what? The last character. Minus 2 refers to what? And if we have the length function, it can let us write the function which we can use to start from the right, because we would be the total length is how much? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So we would write a range function which would start from -1 and it would go up to -9, and we can fetch it from there, from the right-hand side. Or very straightforward, if we want to fetch any character from left-hand side, 0 to 8. That's it. Okay. Now, I think that this is pretty clear now. Movie 0 is S, and movie -2 is 0, -1, -2, and sorry, yeah, -1 and -2 is R. Good. Now, slicing a string. So slicing is that you want to fetch, rather than a single character, you want to fetch, or you want to slice, you want to have a slice of your string. So you say that return me or print a slice from the string. So you start with the 0 and you go up to 3. So 3 won't be included in that. So it is 0, 1, and 2. So it will be printed STA. And 3 would be ignored in that case. Now, if you say -1 to -4, so -1 would not be included. It will start from -4. -4 is what? It is -1, -2, -3, -4, -4, -3, -2. So it will be printing like so. So now I think that you can better correlate the concept of negative indices and positive indices. Okay. Any questions? And if we want to write it like this, so if we say that up to 4, we do not want to mention. So if the first part of your slice is not mentioned, it starts with 0. Okay. And it says that, okay, from 0 to 4, but not including 4. So 0, 1, 2, and 3. So it will be printing star. And for the movie, and you say that start from -4 and onwards. So it'll be printing everything, because we are not mentioning the second part. So everything. So -1, -2, -3, -4. So it'll start from -4, and because the later part or the second part of the slicing or the slice index is not mentioned, so it'll be printing, or it'll be slicing the whole thing starting from -4. Okay, so looping over, let's see some examples. So we have a string DNA. It has got a gotcha or some word. Okay. And we say that nucleotide in DNA, and if nucleotide is G or nucleotide is A, print. So it'll be printing only how many G's are there and how many times there are A. So it'll be printing G, A. So you can print this way. But this nucleotide would be assuming all the values. It'll take G, A, T, T, A, C, A, but it'll be just printing based on the condition. I think that should not be a difficult concept. Any questions for this part? Moving forward. Now, this is something new. We can find our substrings within your string. So this is a method for the string. You need to use dot with that. So you have one string which is where is Wally, and you say that find me W, and it says W is your first character that has the index 0, and you say that find me Wally, okay, and it finds that Wally is starting at location 8. Okay, means index 8, but the actual location should be 9. So we can check 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. All right.
Doctor, no, on the first one where it said you're looking for W, why doesn't it return the second W from Wally as well? Position 8, 0.
It'll be returning only the first one. But then if you want to find the second one, what you want to do is in the looping, let me show you the right way. So if you s dot find, it won't be returning all of them in one place. Maybe we can write a function for that, but the method returns you only the first one. So you say W and it returns 0. Okay. And we say n is this, so n would be 0. Okay. But now if I say that start from n plus next time, means that from here, what I do is I say that n plus 1. If I mention second argument, now it'll start from, it'll be skipping the first letter, first found value, and it'll start from the second part, and definitely it is going to then go to the second W for us. And if there are any further, we can keep going on until we reach the end of the string. So this is how we can fetch all the values, or find all the values, or all the substrings rather. Okay. Now there was one more thing. Let me see. Yeah. So if we do not find the string, if we do not find the substring, it returns -1. For example, Odlo was not found, so it returned, or small or lowercase w was not present in the string, that's why it returned -1. Okay, so here you see, now we know that find function finds from the left, from the start of the string. It returns us the first. Then there is another method which we call rfind or reverse find. It starts the search from the end of the string and towards the left. So this way it returns us the second, because this time it started searching from that way and it found the second E in the same string, right?
Sorry, can you just talk us through that second D? I can't see it for position 4.
I didn't get the point. Can you please repeat that? What the question is?
Yeah, I don't understand how the finding an E is number 4.
Yeah. So when we start, well, do you understand this thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. We say that start finding from here. So 0, 1, and 2 was returned. That's all good. Now, this time it starts finding E from Y. First, it checks whether this is E, this is E, this is E. No, this is not E, this is not E, this is not E, this is not E, but this is E. It finds this E. So the location of this is 4. So now this time R finds the second E in the string and it returns the location of that reverse find or rfind method gives us, because it starts searching from the end.
Okay, but it still counts number 4 from the left-hand side.
Yeah, so is it not right? So 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah, okay.
It is not going to give us, it is not going to give us the negative index. It is going to give us the positive index for that character. So each character has in the string has its positive and negative index. All right, but this is going to give us the location. So either of this should be working fine for us.
Okay, thanks.
So, Doctor, sorry.
Yeah.
If you look at the word where, it's W is 1, H is 2, and E is 3. Does it index W as a 0?
Yeah, that's what we started our assumption from, or the first lesson. So here you see 0. It starts from 0.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. Here you see W was 0.
Yep, understood. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, now what was that? Right, so yeah. So comparison, we can use the comparison. We see that a small earth is capital, starting with capital E, is not same. So they're false. And you see that Grand Canyon, so we find it, so it is returning us 6, but for the same it means that it is showing that the find method is case sensitive, so it won't be matching until all the characters they are not correctly matching. So we'll see, we'll figure out that there are methods which we can use, especially for doing the data validation. We'll see that we can use those methods. Okay, so now here you see we have earth lower equal earth lower. So here what it is doing is it is converting the whole thing earth into lower. So, and it is also converting the right hand side to the lower sides and comparing the lower letters of both strings, and it returns us true. Okay, and this, or you can use the upper as well if you like. Okay, and there is one method, I think, that is called capitalize as well. So capitalize is a bit different than upper. It just capitalizes the first letter in the title case. It means that for every word, it will be just capitalizing the first letter, but upper would flatly convert the string to the uppercase. So Grand Canyon and upper, and you say that find Canyon in that, so it finds that it is on 6. The Grand Canyon upper, and you say find lower Canyon, so it won't be finding that. Okay.
So just to confirm whether it's upper, whether you're doing the reverse or starting from the right or starting from the left, it's always counting from the left.
The index would be returned positive, yes. Positive index, yes, from the left, yes. Okay, because there is a point, because -1 has been dedicated to no found result. Okay, so if we do this, there'll be a confusion, because if they return minus values as well, so -1, -2, it could confuse the program or the logic, that if it is -1, whether it is for not found or is it for the last character found. Did you get my point? So it is always positive index is returned.
Yep, thanks.
Yeah. Okay, so we can replace our strings with some substrings. So we say that replace in the string, if you find it ly with do, so where is Wally becomes where is Waldo. Okay, or replace W with R Okay, and it says that raise is Raleigh and 8 is case sensitive again. Okay, and it replaces that. And remember that this is not going to replace, is not going to change the actual string. When you again print that, the actual string would still be the same. It'll be just returning you after replacing a fresh string, which you can store or save in a separate variable and use it, or even just simply print it. Okay, so, and if the substring isn't found, so it will be just unchanged because nothing has been found. And sometimes you want to replace your string with empty string. Okay. Then, for instance, you want to reduce the spaces or something, you can use that technique. Here is one example. We say that vowels and S is input. You enter any text, and you say that for vowels, just replace with an empty string. Okay, and you enter a string. A fox is orange, so it'll go through all characters for the string, and it'll replace with the empty string. So yeah.
Dr. Noor,
Each.
can we put null as a replacement?
Null.
No.
I think that empty string is null string.
Well, sometimes, like if you're sending something over to Excel, there's a difference between a blank, and null. They're two different things. It's like a blank is actually something. Yeah.
I got your point. I don't have an exact answer at the moment.
It's okay.
In Python, an empty string is null string, but I'll have to check what solution. You're right that in the empty cells, when they are fresh, they are different, but empty space, that is different case in Excel. So I'll have to find that answer. Maybe Google or ChatGPT knows about that, because there's a good question, but yeah, I don't have the right answer for this. What character actually we can use for that? Yes. Or maybe we can use a simple null or something. I'm not sure. Okay, now these are all the examples. So I think that we're just skipping those. We have pretty much covered most of them. Let's see, what is this here? The range function. This is, we have done this. Yeah, so basically the slicing is like using the letters and the range function. So here we have the range. It's not the range function, range method or anything related to strings. So you can use the slicing. Okay. It's like using the range function and indexing combination. We can change the characters, and there are a few more programs. For loops can be used, right? So what here want to do is that we have a string which is CSE for IP, and after each character in the string, we want to add this exclamation, okay? And we say that it should be printing still on the same line. Should not be, because if we do not add this end equals null character or empty space, so it'll be printing the string. The program would be printing this every character on the new line. That is not the behavior we want. So we say that fetch I, which is a single character from the string, okay, and then add, or along with that print this exclamation sign and a space, and then fetch the next string, next character from the string, and so on. Okay. We have another example. You have a star here, all right, and here we have just printed empty spaces. Okay, so what we are doing here, so we are converting to lower, converting to upper, and here we are print E counted, and count E, welcome to, okay, so yeah, how many E's are there? E counted, so 1, 2, and 3. So that is different. Count function is different than find. It just does not find the location. It just finds that how many substrings are there in your string. So it finds that there are 3 E's in our string. Okay. And what we are doing, we are replacing here. That's fine. We have covered. And index X, yeah, so index L returns, the index of L is returned. Index function returns us, it's like the find function, it returns us the index of that character. And here,
Just a question.
yeah.
The count one had one letter as a string. If you put a word in there, it would count the word, yeah?
Yes, the substring, that's what I
Yeah.
used, substring. Yeah, it could be a single character
Or it can
or
be
a
a
complete
word,
word, or even a sentence.
Yep. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, yeah. And is alpha finds that this is one good function. Is alpha, it checks that whether it is alphabetic string or are there numbers in that. So is alpha, so welcome is alpha, so it's true. So when you're writing code for data validation and someone tries to put some numbers or digits in, say, for instance, you're entering a name for someone, and that could be used for validation function, validation purposes, right? And then a join function takes all the items of an iteratable and joins them into one string. So a string, and you see you want to print or you want to create a new string. You want to have that it joins using the commas, because you say that join with the comma. So I'll be taking one character at one time and we'll be joining them using, or you can use it using, excuse me, any other characters like stars or hyphens or a space or slash, backslash, whatever. Though the
So
users
if you
could be,
say is alpha, is there another function called is number?
yeah,
There is.
Yeah.
Is number. Okay.
is number.
Thank you.
That join one down the bottom, sorry,
Yeah.
join string, that takes letter by letter. Can you do more than one character at a time or not?
Yeah, this is a substring. You can use double star or something like that, 2 commas or 2 spaces.
No, at the bottom you've got C hyphen, comma S.
Yeah.
Can you pick more than one character at a time in a string? Do you know what I mean? It's like CS.
I got it. I got your point, but then it won't be that. Then maybe we'll have to see if we can use any. I'm not. I don't think so. It should
Yeah.
be doing it like that, because it'll just ruin the sequence.
If you had like postcode, for example, it's 4 letters. Do you know what I mean? I'm just
But then there are other methods. So we can use the first 4 character. We can use better. It's better to use the slicing rather than this. You see, 0 to 4, you take those slices, add space, and then, because this way, how you're going to mention that what. There is no way of mentioning. Maybe I'll check if it takes further arguments. If you have access, maybe you can try finding in ChatGPT or Google that is join taking any other arguments. If it takes, then maybe we have the provision like the find function. We can give an additional additional argument that where to start from.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Yeah,
I'll look it
yeah,
up. Thanks.
I can take a note, or maybe I'll try it myself and see. Yeah. Okay, strip is another function which strips all the spaces, okay, from left and right, and it gives you the string without any spaces. And split is another function which we have already used, is strip and is split in our task one assessment 2, that you can split and you see that this is the reverse of join. A split is reverse of join, so it'll be splitting based on the character you're going to give. So if it is nothing, the standard is that it'll be splitting on the basis of a blank space or just empty space. Otherwise, you can mention commas or characters or whatever is used to separate your strings. Okay. Find, we have already done that. And what else we have got? String. I think that is string. Right. Now, these are some examples. You can check with these. Okay. This is another example. So enter number on a line. Line is 1, 2, 3. Print line and tokens. So you say that you should be splitting tokens, and you see the tokens, they are returned as a split. Basically, when you perform a split function on any string, the data type it returns is always a list. It's not another string. It'll be a list of strings separated by commas in the list, but it'll remove that particular separator from that. Okay. Okay, now next is F strings. F string is basically a formatting technique where we want to format our strings. So far, we have used the concatenation method or format specifier in the past, but this was introduced little later in Python, and very powerful tool for formatting is not only string, numbers and values alongside. So what do? We use F just before the string to construct that string. Now within that, we can have these curly brackets, and we can introduce our variables or expressions, and they'll be replaced with their actual values. All right. So if we have account 1 and the balance is 23.0, so they will be replaced with the account 1 balance is 23.0, so it'll be printing. So it is just equivalent to what we have seen here. Okay, here rather we were type converting the expressions or variables and then concatenating with the remaining string. But in this, you have the facility that you can easily adjust the spaces. You do not need to really count them. You just keep writing your strings and their and the expressions, and their values would be replaced with those variable names. Okay, so now there are multiple ways of expressing a number. For example, 5.0. So there is integer, a floating with a 1 digit after the decimal point, floating value, or or a float with 2 decimal places after the decimal point, and so on. So we can specify using the F string. So here we write our string as usual, and then within the specifier, okay. So we say that this is our expression. This could be a complete mathematical equation, as simple as 1/3, or a variable name, or anything, or actual value. It'll be replaced with the value, but now here this is the format specifier after the colon. So after the colon, we say that how it should be formatted. We say that it should be formatted with a .4.f. So .4 means that after 4, we require that 4 digits after the decimal place should be printed, and then the type we specify is float. All right. So here are some examples. So x is 6.666. We say that .3f here. So it'll be just printing 3f, and the last digit would be rounded off in that case. And in here we have got just 0f. It means we just don't want any decimal places printed, so it just rounds off to 1. And we say print us 6 up to 6 digits. So it won't exaggerate and add 6 rather by itself. So it'll add just zeros because it does not know whether there are more 6s here or not. So it'll be just adding more zeros. Though the format is the print or the string it is returning us is in the required format, but the value is conserved in that way. All right. So it's not changing the value, but just changing the format, the way it presents the string. Okay, so here we have okay, we can fix the width of the numbers or even the strings as well. So if we say that, and D represents, by the way, when we want to print integers, and we say that we have got 1, 2, 3, and we want to print that integer, okay, or even the value of any integer into 6 places. So the 6 space, or the 6 character long space would be spared, and the integer 1, 2, 3 would be printed in that, because a number is always aligned on the right hand side. It will be by default, it will be printed printing it on the left hand side. So if there are 3, it will be just leaving 3 spaces and will be printing on the rest of the 3 spaces. If we make it 8 here, so it'll be sparing 5 spaces here and then print 1, 2, 3. All right. And if by any chance, if we specify fewer spaces for an integer to be printed, it will just fit that. It won't reduce the value. So it will be just printing and taking its complete space, whatever is required. And print always starts from the left. So it'll be printing from the left and won't spare any space. And then there is another example. So where we have got F, or the F string, and the floating type, and we say that we want to spare 6 spaces for the whole value, but after the decimal point we need 2 digits. Okay, so the 6 spaces would be spared and the number would be printed right aligned in that. All right. These are not the, yeah.
Sorry, Doctor. Say, for example, so you've got the 6 and then the D, 2 and the D and 2 and the F. Is it possible for it to be in front of the 2s and the 6s, the Ds? Does it mean that it will print, give it, so 1, 2, 3, and then So for the very top one, if you go F, 1, 2, 3, colon, and then D6, does it work by giving 1, 2, 3, and then 3 spaces on the right? No,
Uh,
it doesn't do that way, does it?
I'm not sure, but I think that if you have some time now, you can try, and because what we follow is because we are following the general format here. The format is specifier, and my question here would be that why do you want to do like this? Is there any specific use that you want to do like this? What is the point in doing like so? If it is this way, 60 is working fine. What is the requirement that we should be even even considering that it should print or not? That's my question, my task to you, to try finding that if it is printing or not like that. Hopefully, maybe if it prints, but that is the way. First is specifier, usually that how much space is that, and then the type of the data which you want to print is usually the okay.
Is the second one has 2D, but it actually has a 3-digit, 3 numbers. It still displays 3 numbers. Does it?
It'll be printing because we do not want to lose the actual value. So it'll just create its required space and will print the string there. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So the main priority is that our value or the string, it should not lose its value. So the number is precious for us. So 1, 2, 3 would be printed even if we mistakenly spared little space for that. Okay.
Pardon, doctor. For the first one, 1, 2, 3, like 6D. Is it 6D mean like 6 character and only 3 spaces has been provided?
6 spaces have been provided. 6 spaces have been provided, and 1, 2, 3 would be printed on the left hand side because it is a number. But if it is a string, it'll be printed in the right hand side.
So the first one length is 9 character or 6?
It's 6 character.
Yeah.
It's not the 6 spaces left after printing. It says that leave 6 spaces, and whatever X or expression is, it could be, if it was 1, 2, 3, 4, then it'll be printing from here 1, 2, 3, 4, and 2 will be. So it spares 6 spaces, and within that 6 spaces, so basically you're drawing now columns here. Okay, so every time you want to print a line, you say that now spare a fixed column here and print on the right hand side. The number should be printed on the right hand side. Yeah. So like we do in Excel, or like we are doing in our task two where we are printing or displaying our data for cars and renters and all that. Okay, so width we have covered already. Yeah. Okay, now this is one good example here. You see, we want to have the times table. So we have a program and we say that, okay, we want to print it rather beautifully. So we have this. So we say that the table for whatever the number is should be printed in the 2 spaces. And then we have the multiplication sign, and then B and 2D and equal, and then whatever the result is. And the result should be printed in the 3 spaces. Okay, because we are expecting already in the 3 spaces. But what if we do 2D here? What would happen? Can you tell me?
It will also 2D. Print 2 character, but without the space for the first one.
It'll start printing from here.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, and then it won't look decent like the numbers should look like. Okay, so it'll be printing last three values rather from they will look like the whole column is right hand side aligned. So this is just we want to avoid.
So if you had just one day, would it still print out the full numbers?
Yeah, of course, yes.
You would, yeah.
I won't lose the value or the actual string. It won't lose, but it won't be then following the string format. That's the problem.
Okay, I understand.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is you should really just work out the maximum figure
Yeah.
and align it with that.
Expected value.
The
You should
maximum.
try. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, string values can also be formatted with minimum or width. So we can specify that what would be the minimum width. So here we say that, okay, now colon 8 and S. Now this time we say that the expression we are mentioning here is the string. So it will spare the 8 spaces and would print a string right aligned by default. Okay. And here we have tried printing 96.8S and it just gives us an error because it is not a string. For S, you need to have a string mentioned in the specifier.
Why did it print hello? You didn't actually ask it to print, did you?
Here?
Yeah.
Yeah, it printed hello and then 3 spaces.
But did you ask it to print? You didn't say print hello.
And this is just missing. These are just examples. So this means that we are just printing here. This is on the command prompt. If you try writing this in the older versions of Python, they do print actually.
Okay.
But in the Colab, we need to use the print statement definitely. Yeah. Here you see that we have hello 8S and it has got right hand side and it is sparing and then and if you want to change the alignment, you can have greater or less than sign used, so it will just be changing the alignment direction. So pretty same string, we have just after the colon we have mentioned now align it to the right hand side. So by giving it this direction, so it just prints on the right hand side in this specific space. Okay, and you see the default for the integers is what? Right hand side, but we can change the direction if we like. So this way we are mentioning it that now within the specific space print the value, or which is D, means that integer on the right on the left hand side. Okay. Okay, so what would be the output shown program would be? So here is the output. Okay, so it is 20 basically, and we say that spaces should be 60 and they should be left aligned because of this less than sign, and the expression itself is here that would be evaluated into 20.00, and we need 2 spaces after the decimal point. Okay. Any questions now, mainly regarding the topic? We are going to go to the next topic now, files.
What does the less than 6 mean? Left hand is the...
Yeah, so that's what less than 6. Here we have covered it like, where was that? Yeah, means that numbers by default, when we print number or we want to have a string constructed using the F string, if they are numbers, like if we use D or F, within that specific spared space, they would be set, or they would be placed on the right hand side.
Yeah.
Yeah. But when we say no, we want them to be printed or to be placed on the left hand side, this direction. So this is arrow pointing towards
Yeah.
this. And for the string, the default behavior, when we do not mention this operator, the default behavior is what? The string is always on the left hand side. But we can change this behavior by mentioning the direction. So this is where we say the alignment operator. We're defining the alignment. So here it is still having a space, but the space is being left on what side? On the right hand side, because it is left aligned.
Pardon.
There's 6 spaces in total, isn't it?
Yes,
character
6 spaces in total, but the alignment is
Yeah, I understand.
left. Yeah.
Thank you.
Doctor, here, like, oh, sorry.
Question, doctor. If you have a 6-digit one and you put a comma, say 1,000, which is better? Put a slice. You put comma on a 6-digit integers.
6, we have 6-digit integer, and what else?
And assuming you want to present with comma, say for example 20,000, 20 comma and 3 digits. Normally you have only the 20,000 without the
without
thousand.
yeah.
You have to split it up. You have to split the 0, correct?
No,
That's the best way.
I think that there are. I really cannot recall. I think F strings can help us to print like that. What you're saying? I think. Let me. If we have some time, maybe tonight or maybe in the lab session, just remind me that, and we will try doing that. I got your point.
No problem.
I think everyone gets the point. So if we want to print, when we say A is 20,000,
Yes.
all right,
Then
and
you
we
put some
say
comma.
print A, and it prints 20,000 simply. But what if we want to print it like that? Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, so I'm pretty sure that I have seen something in the past, but I cannot recall it. But we have a solution for that, and
I think the only thing I can get is split. You need to split the three first and then insert comma.
Yeah, I'm sure that we do not split it. We have something like a format specifier for that.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
Doctor, here, sorry, the float number or decimal number 20.00, is it like 5 spaces? You can consider this one 5 spaces plus 1 empty?
No, it is 2 spaces empty here. Rather, let me check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 1 space here. Yeah.
So sorry, doctor. If the answer, so you've specified, 6 spaces and two floating point, but what if the answer is instead of just if it's 8 digits, how will that do that?
Good question. So for example, if we have the answer is 20.12345 like that.
Yep.
Yeah. And for that, it'll be printing like this. So it'll be just printing that. What is that? What is that? That 5. And it'll be printing 20.012345 6 and this will be printed. It won't be losing any, but for that case, because we have two, it'll be trimming. But if we say that we want to write 6.6, okay, then in this case, otherwise it is going to round off to 2 digits because we have our instructions to round off. If we do not have the instructions to round off, and we say that we need all 6 digits, then it'll be printing like so. Okay.
Yep. Makes sense.
Okay. And there are many things which, if we have questions, we can try, because with the computers, I always tell everyone nothing is going to break and nothing is going to cost us any any money. Like if we were physicians, or if we were a physicist, or if we were a chemist, so many things would have, or experimentation would have costed us. So if you have similar questions, and I'm sorry, I cannot answer all the interesting questions here, because I know that there are too many interesting questions and you want to know. So my advice would be that rather try and share with us as well, everyone. So yeah. Okay, so yeah, now the topic 2 is files. Pretty much we have done a little bit of filing in our lab last week when we read from our files. So basically, when we say filing, we want to refer to the text files. We can even read from the CSV files or HTML files and other files. So all they are known as text files. So because text is written in them, text files. So CSVs are basically comma separated files, and then there are binary files. So binary files are would be they are sometimes they are even what they call semi-compiled files. Okay. And we cannot we cannot read that data, or the characters are not readable, they are already compiled. So some examples of binary
Question,
files.
Doctor.
Yeah.
Which is more effective, the text file or CSV type file? Because what happens is text file, you still need to do separate into, to make a list, you need to do separately, while CSV file is already separated, right? Which
Yeah,
is more
it really
effective?
depends. Now, if you're storing paragraphs or a long story, an article from a newspaper, definitely you're going to go for what? A text file. But if you have values which you can split and you can segregate them with commas or spaces, CSV file would be our best choice in that case, right? So it depends.
And it could be easier to transfer back to the
Yeah.
list form, right?
Yeah, because Python has got the libraries and it can load them. But here we would be focused on only reading the text files. But Python has got rich libraries. It can understand CSV files, even other files, other types of files. It can decode it and fetch the data automatically. Some of those we will be covering in the next lecture as well. Okay.
Thank you.
So okay, yeah, if we can take a quick 5 minutes break, then we can come back, right? Before starting the file. Though this is going to be a long lecture tonight, we can take a break here and we can come back in 5 minutes. All right, so we are back and we continue with our filing. So before we start working on our files, we need to open it or open them. So for instance, we have this file, which is storing 3 lines, red, green, and blue, and it is named as colors.txt. It's a text file. So we want to open it using open statement or open function, and we want to store the open object of type file open to F. Now, F is basically a hook to that file. And here we need to mention the file name or the file path if it is somewhere in a complex path, somewhere in your drive or on your Google Drive or somewhere. But we believe that if it is in the same current directory where your Colab file is or your Python file is, you just mention its name and then an object of type file is opened and that is stored in F. Okay, so this way our file object has the information that that Python or your program requires to access the content of that file. So, and as I mentioned that this F is not having any data. This is just having the information to access the file. This is a hook to the file. This object F is not basically a file itself, or it's not having the content of the file. To read the content, we will use some read statements. Okay, and if we try opening a file which is not there, for instance, 404.txt, file not found error would be raised. And we'll see in the next lecture when we do the error handling and try except methods, how can we handle such errors. Okay, so now in this short program, you see that we have got open color.txt. We see that now from F, we have a method which we call and we say that read. Now it reads the whole file and then it stores that data into S. Now S is that string which is having the text from that file. Okay, so ideally it should be print statement here, but because of this prompt, we say that it prints the content of the variables. But in the Colab, we should be writing print S. So S is now a string that has read the data, that has got the data read from the file. Okay, so sometimes it is not a good idea, or it is not required even to read all the data at once from the file. So we want to read the file one by one, line by line, so that we process that line every time we fetch it. So we use read line function. Okay, so what do we do? Read line, when we say that F read line. So what is returned? It returns the red and the backslash character attached to it, because we know that in this string there was a backslash character. That's why the next green was on the next line. So you have these read lines all there, and this is the actual form of your lines read from that. Now, my question from all of us, that if you want to remove this backslash n or new line character, what do we do? Because it might not be useful for us.
We remove it when I read?
Yeah, now we have read it. For instance, we have saved it in S, and S is equal to red backslash n enclosed in double quotes. And we say that we want only red, not backslash attached to it. So what
Does
do we
that
do?
mean we put the dot in front of it, the period in front of it?
What if we want to remove the last character from the last character means that -1 character from that
minus
from that
minus
-1 character from that, and we keep the rest of the slice except the last one, right? So we can process that way.
-1, yes.
So this is the answer here, right? So we say start from the beginning and up to -1 excluding -1. So it will just give us the pure line without the new line character attached to it, right? Or the other idea is that you replace the line, because line, we have read the line here, and you replace the \n character with an empty space or empty string. So that way you can also remove this. Okay.
But no, what happens if \n was part of the actual string? Not likely, but it's possible.
If it was not, then yeah, then this might remove the D from this. Yeah. But this is safer in that case because it'll return, if it finds by \n, it'll return without new line. But if it is not finding any \n, it'll return the actual string. So this is safer. Good question. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Now returning to the start. Yeah. Now there is one more thing that we can use. There is another method for filing which we call seek, and seek let us go to the certain position. Okay. So if we want to go back to a line or character, of course, then we say that okay, go to the beginning, and it goes to 0, and it reads from again from that the beginning of the file. Okay. Okay, we can use loops. We'll see that how do we do that. So we have opened a file, which is file name, and we are now this time we are entering the file name from the user input, and we open the file. Now file is that object which we have opened, and we print after that we print that once it has opened the file, we print a string that now we are starting the processing. And we say that now here, remember that or observe that we haven't read any any of that what we call line yet. So for line in file, so it'll be helping us. The loop for loop is integrated in such a way that it'll be it'll be fetching one line at one time from the file, and the print function will be printing. And what we have done here, we know that because each line is having a new line character, so we can safely use -1 slicing here, and it'll be printing the lines or new line every time read from the file. So this way we can use for loop with the files. Okay. Okay, so the first call returns the entire content of the file as a string. The second call returns an empty string. This is because after the first read, the call cursor position is at the end, of course. Okay, so if when you reach at the end of the file, and if you try reading further, okay, from that point onwards, you do not get anything because there is no more data once your cursor has moved to the beginning of the file. Okay.
Doctor, sorry, how was awesome. Maybe you will go to get this one close. I'm just but to asking about how to close the file and how to ensure like this one is still open.
We'll discuss all that. So there are three steps, main steps, which we call in filing. So far we have just we had some idea that how files are going to work. So first step is that you open a file, and then the second step is that you read the file either from the read lines or read line, okay, whatever method you want to use for, and depending on your application. And then after that, you close this file. It means that now when you close this, for instance, this file, once you close file, the function file object would be destroyed. It would not have any more that hook to that file and won't be having any information regarding the file. And my question would be, why is it very necessary to close the file once we have opened it and once we have used it in our program?
Files can be corrupted.
Will be free the memory?
Free the memory,
Right.
because there is one thing, because
File,
one very important thing is that if you do not close that, it means that that hook is lying somewhere in memory, and some other malicious programs can use that hook to the file, and they can read that data or corrupt that file, which you do not want. So you want always to close that file, because the file is an object and everything in computer is a memory. And if it is residing in the memory, an opened file and hook to that open file, a link to open file, or you can say a big host to your file, to your on the file residing on your storage like hard drive. And if you haven't closed it, there could be some malicious programs that can scan, are there any filing objects? And if they are with the certain permissions, they can read and they can write and they can do whatever permissions are there. Or even in some cases, they can change the permissions. So it's always a good idea to close your file. Okay. So examples of text files, there are some examples. We can have files like so. There could be multiple lines. Okay, so write a Python program to read data from using read and read lines. So here we have got file name .test.text, and we are opening it. We say in file read. I've read the file. Now we can in file close it and print text. So this is line 1, this is line 2, this is line 3. Okay, so we have created our basically text, and even after closing the file, because the text has been stored, now this is in our Python's program. Now we can safely close the file. We do not need it. The text is enough for us, and we can process that in that case. And in the second example, write a Python program that reads the whole file and returns a list of strings, one string for each line. Okay, so in that case, what we do, we say that in file read lines. Okay, so what and there we had read statement, here we have read lines. So here I'll be returning us lines. So the lines would be what a data which would be separated. Okay, a list where all items would be separate lines from your file, rather than one paragraph or one whole file from one string, rather than it'll be returning us list, and its elements would be what? Its elements would be lines from your file. Do you understand that concept? So here there'll be one string, here it'll be in red, it'll be just a string, one single string. And in this case, the read lines, it'll be a list returned to us. And a read line won't read all the lines at once. It'll be reading one line at a time, and we would need a looping structure for that to read the whole file. Okay, so that is one difference between read lines, and read line function. Okay.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, can we use, there's another way to reading a file, for lines in the files, then loop it without using the read line. Is that all right?
How do you, what function do you use then in
No,
that
is
case?
it simply you open the file,
Yeah.
then in a for loop, you say you read for line in file.
Yeah, that you can do. Yes, yes.
That's legitimate, that's allowed.
Yeah,
No?
because we have here, we have that we are fetching the line. So here, yeah. Where was that? I think there was a here. It was there. It was there. Yeah, like this. Yes.
Ah, that's right.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
fine. Yes,
yeah.
that's allowed. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
So what's the delimiter at the end of the line when it reads each line? How does it know?
In the whole text, you see, when you print it, \n would be present
Okay.
for each separator. So that is the separator or delimiter.
So, but if you read the whole file, is that / included?
Included. That's why you have just printed one variable here, but it is printing this way that it looks like there were multiple lines.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because the character \n character is also being printed and is splitting the print on different lines. The usual way, if we have the longer string, like if I write it like this, S is say S1 \n S2 and \n and S3 \n. Okay, so when we print it, what happens? How should it be printed? S1,
One on top of the other.
S2,
Yep.
S3. So actually, when it is reading like this. Okay. The whole thing is stored in the text. But when you print it using the print text, it prints, and that \n character is also being printed or plays its role to send the lines to the next line.
So, Doctor, what is the relevance of the R in that apostrophe, where it says
Good
infile
question.
open?
Good question. Where next slide is going to answer us this. Good question. Yes.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah. No problem. That is. Now, so far we have learned about reading the files. Now we want to write to the file. So there is a different method or set of functions which we can use, or there are other there are modes of opening and operating with the files. We'll see to them. Okay, so we have file modes, and so far we were using this R in this as a second argument. That means that we were always opening the file with the R mode or the reading mode. No one can write to the file. Even the same program, if it reads, if it opens in the read mode, we cannot write to the file. So that is one safety feature for us. And now here are different modes. So far, we were using R mode, okay? And what was allowed? Only reading was allowed. And write was not allowed. And when we started that file, always it would start from the start or 0th location from the zero index of the file string or the file text. It keeps the content. It does not delete. And if the file is not existing, it may throw some error, but it won't create a new file. And then we have a W mode, which we call write mode. When we open a file in write mode, we are not allowed to read the content. Sometimes now there could be a question. There could be some programs for which that are, for instance, that are data acquisition programs. You want to allow someone or some program to write to your file, but not read what is inside already. Okay, so you allow them only the W mode. They can write, and they will start writing from the beginning. And if in that case, if something is already there, keep content, it will be deleted. And if the file is not existing and you want to open a file with W mode, a new file would be created. For the A mode, which is append mode, you can not read the content, but you can write, and you can append to the end of the existing file. It's like appending to a list or appending to some existing data structure. And you keep the content if you open with this mode, and then you can create a file if it is not existing already. Then R plus mode is there, where we can read and write, and the starting location is what? It's the location, the cursor position is at the start. I'll keep the content. We have W plus mode, and this R plus won't create a file. W plus is the mode where we have got read and write access. It'll be starting at the top, won't keep the content. It will be deleting the previous content if we use this mode, and it'll create a file if is not existing. The most powerful is A plus mode, append plus mode. All options checked, but it'll be starting at the end of the file.
Hey, Dr.
Right.
Law, where do you specify which mode you want to use?
So it really depends on your needs. If you just want to, and always do not provide extra access. If you have in your mind or in your program, if you just want to read the data, use the R mode. Do not use the R plus mode, okay? Because it would give the access to write as well, that you just do not want. You want to read your file, that's it, that's enough. And if you want to write, do not go for the W plus, go for the write. Do not provide reading access.
Now I understand. How do you specify what mode you want?
Yeah. So it really depends on what type of program or application you're writing. So that really depends on that. Okay.
So,
When
so
you read and write, do you need to close? Assuming you're reading, at the end of the thing, you have to close it before you can write it.
And no, you cannot close it. You need to keep it open until you.
No. Assuming you're reading, after you're reading, you have to close before you can write.
no.
Yeah, no, you can you can write and read simultaneously, but you cannot have two objects writing to the file in some cases.
No, I'm saying is when you're already reading, which is
Read
the file
that,
is
yes.
open. When you finish your reading, do you need to close the file before you can write?
No, because it is not necessary, but it is good practice because
Okay.
yeah, you see what I'm now. I got your point. When you mention you want to close it, let me see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here, file is what? It is R mode.
Open.
So when you close it, you see that I am closing, then now the R mode. Okay.
Yes.
But if you create another file one mode and you open it with W mode, okay, and then you can read it from file one. Still, your file could be open, but file one can also be open because file one is a different link which allows only the reading. Okay.
Yep.
So, Doctor, when you're creating those files, or when you know in the create. So if you're using W or A plus, say for example,
Yeah.
when you have to specify what file you're creating and all sorts of things and where you're saving it and stuff like that, or no?
Yeah,
Or will it just do it manually?
that's always we are doing. So the file name which we were using, that is that file. So let me show you some examples. So for example, here, so what file it is, that this file or the file path, complete path, you mention it, and then after that you mention the mod. Okay.
So when is keep the content? Can you please go back to the previous slide? I was just a little bit keep contents. What does the keep contents mean?
Yeah, good question. So now if you open a file with wmod, okay, wmod, and you want to write to it if there were any contents. For example, there were contents like this in that file, they'll all be deleted and you will start writing freshly in that file. Okay, and it'll be at the beginning of the file. I won't keep the content, it would delete if the file had some content.
Okay, that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah. Now, if you open it, say, for instance, you want to keep the content, the previous content. So, for instance, we had these many lines, these lines all there, and we want to start writing more data to that file. So we want to open A in the A mode. Okay. So it'll be able to it'll enable us to write from the file, write to the file, and the cursor would be placed at the end, okay, and the proper sequence, and the content would be kept, and if the file is not there, a new file could be created. So it'll be going good. So more lines would be added this way, right?
Yeah, that's
Now sometimes my question is that why we want to use then if there is A, and sometimes what do you do is, oh, you want to create session files for certain applications. You say that you want to create file that is open or kept until the application is running, and it'll keep fetching and storing, and once that application is closed, you want to delete all the data. So in that case, you can use what? You can use wmod. So every time the application starts, it just deletes the previous data and it starts writing from the top again. So it really depends on the application. So mainly we would use R, W, or A mode, or A plus sometimes if we need that much access or that much power. So now let's see some examples that how do we want to write to the file. So here we have got file open, and we say that gifts, and we have opened it in the W mode, and say we want to write to the file. So dot write is a method. So you say you want to write 2 lines. So you write first line write, and then a gift is nice, but 2 gifts are better. So, and you then close it. So you see 2 lines are entered in this. Okay. And in this case, because we want to add basically these \n operators to separate the line, so that's why it won't be automatically writing these.
You said it doesn't keep the content. I was thinking the third line will remove the second line's content. It's just like
No, it's not like that. It's when next time when we open it and we start writing in it, that will remove the content. So in that case, you can write as many write statements before closing it. Once you close it and you open it again and you start writing it, it will delete the content.
great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You got to know why did it put the new line after R-A-R-E? Why didn't it print better first in the output?
A gift is nice.
But two gifts are new line better.
A gift is nice, but
The
two
little
gifts
line is
are.
just because
I think that
I don't
is
have enough space.
that has been wrapped around or in the text file. That is not the case. There is only it should be only a \n here, not there is no \n here. It's just because the space would be limited. That's why it was done like so.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Okay, opening an existing file with file mode W or W plus will erase the content of the file. So be careful in that case. If that is closed and you want to open it, then only the contents are erased. So if you want to keep the existing content, you want to use the A mode. Be careful to use the A plus mode because it gives us the full access. So we just do not want always to have the full access. Okay, now let's see some more examples. So we are having print work completed. Now this is one good example. So we say that we have work, we input, we open a file, which is work file, and we write to it work file dot write work plus \n and close it. Now let's see what is happening here. We say we run the file and we say dusted the cupboards. Okay. Next time we run the same file and we say vacuumed the floors. And when after that, when we open this file, we see only because the file was being opened in the W mode. So after it has been closed, and next time when we open it, it is just having the last work done, not the dusting task included. Okay. So that is because of the W mode. Now, once we change it to A mode, and now we try with the same or similar program, when we say that dusted the cupboards, and then we also closed it, we opened it again, vacuumed the floors, and now you see, so it has both the data added, the lines added to it. It's not going to delete that, right? So this is the difference between that. And what would be the content of output.text after the program finishes running? It'll be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, because we are not closing it until it keeps writing to the file. So writing again involves 3 main steps. You open the file, you write to the file, and you close the file. All right. Okay, so these are some examples. You can have a look at them later. Write a Python program to append text data. So for appending, we open the file in the A mode, append mode, and then you output file is the file object. So you keep writing, and then that's how you keep adding more data to that. Okay. So this example, write a Python program that asks the user to enter data and then append it to existing file. We assume the file exists and might have some data or text in that. To read from the user, we can use while or for loops and the input function. So we have the, yes.
Sorry, just one quick question. So is this like an example of something that we're going to get in exam situation? I'm just wondering.
In small parts, you could be asked about the modes and what is their functionality. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying that, hey.
Yeah. So see that when we are learning a language, we would be learning all parts of it. It's not always all the things which are related to exam. Of course, we are learning all the parts.
No, but what I'm saying is that, sorry, I'm not talking about specifically this program, but it says here, example, write a program to append text or whatever. So is that the kind of questions we're going to get to write the application or the programs in kind of thing? is what I'm trying to.
We'll discuss in the last week that
Right.
what type of what type of questions or what type of format of your final exam would be. So
Okay.
yeah, so
Sorry.
we can leave it. Yeah. So if there are any exam or assessment questions, please defer them to the lab session because still we have another 100 slides to cover tonight. So that's why I'll be moving a little fast. Yeah. Okay, so file systems. I think I can skip this part and that'll be there. These are those functions which you can use for the filing system. These are not the files like you want to have want to find the files in a directory or want to find whether on that path is a file or a directory. They're all self-explanatory. So these are, and all these functions are part of this library OS. You want to import it and use the function. So is file on the path. If it is file, it returns you true, and you can write that this is a file and this is a directory. The path is a directory, it returns directory. And if it is nothing, so you say that does not exist. Okay, so for instance, we are running this my directory. My directory is a directory here. And you say that some file.txt, some file.txt is a file. You say nothing, you enter nothing, and nothing does not exist. So you could have said identify path, maybe then it could have returned you that this is a file. Creating directories, you can create directories. So OS path is direct my dir. So you first want to find whether this directory is existing. So if not, then mkdir or make directory function could be used for make directory. Okay, and then you can try finding whether this is a directory or not, and it returns true. Okay. And calling OS list dir or directory path, it will return a sequence of files and directories, and or a list you can loop over to fetch each single item from that list. So it'll be giving you all the files and directories or subdirectories present in that path. Okay. You can rename your file's source path and destination path. We'll rename the file directory at source path to the new name. Okay. Moving a file is equivalent to renaming it. If you change the path, it'll just be moving it to the new location as well. You can remove or delete the file. Okay. And that cannot be used to remove directories, and especially you cannot remove those files or paths which already have some other files. There is one condition that they should be empty. Paths should not have any more files in them. Okay. RMDIR will remove the directory at the path. RM for remove directory. So this is another function. This is a table. You can see their description and examples that how they are used. File systems. Okay, so that was mainly about the filings. Now, another main topic is lists. So far, to some extent, we are familiar with lists. But now we will be covering in more detail. So basics of lists. A list is a data structure where we can place multiple items of mixed data types, and they are separated by commas. For instance, we say our list L is having 1, 2, 3, or our list is having 1.0 is the float type, APG is a string type, and then 3 is an integer. So we can all have this type. And the square brackets are used for keeping these lists. Okay. As mentioned, a list can have mixed data types. Lists can accommodate more lists, or we say that these are nested lists. So we can have, a list can have an item itself, which is another list. So this is another example. If a list is empty, we can write it like this without any items. So if you want to initialize a variable with an empty list, so you can do so. So X is equal to open and close square brackets. Now, list operations, concatenating, indexing, finding length, slicing, iterating with loops, we'll see all that. So for the string concatenation, we have seen A, B, C plus D, E. So these are concatenating like so. The lists are concatenated this way, 1, 2, 3 plus 4, 5. They are concatenated. So they are added.
100 slides to go.
Pardon?
Sorry, mistake.
Okay, so list indices, again, list items, they start from 0. So at 0, we would have 7, but at 1, we have 8, and we have 9. We have index 2 for that. Okay. A length, we can use a length function to find how many elements are there in the list. So there are 3, it will return us 3. For an empty list, it is going to return us 0. Okay. Unlike strings, lists are mutable. So you can change their content, replace items, append new items, and remove existing items. All right, so if we have, say, names, Alice, Bob, and Charlie, so name -1 is Craig. So what happens is name -1. And sorry, I wanted to mention that you can use the same negative indices with the lists as well. Okay. And -1, you have assigned the new value. So now the list is existing, the same list. You have just changed the -1 element or the last element to Craig. So now the list is Alice, Bob, and Craig. Okay, appending to the list, you can use append function. You start a new list, which is an empty list. So you say append Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and you see your list becomes like this. You can use append function. Okay, a list of square numbers. So you have squares equals empty list, and then you start a for loop in the range from 1 to 11, which would be effectively going from 1 to 10, and you want to append the squares from 1 to 100. Here is that you can delete elements from your list using the del function, del num, and you want to mention the index of that element which you want to delete, 10, 11, 12. So is 12 is going to be deleted. So the new list, which would be, which you would get is this, because 12 has been deleted. And if you want to say now delete -3, so -1, -2, -3, 14 should be deleted. -3 and onwards. So you want to delete the whole slice. So you say that you want to delete -14 onwards. So it is going to delete the whole slice. Okay, so lists can be sorted using the sort function, sort method itself. So you want to sort, it is sorted. So you see that this is sort. And if you want to sort in the reverse order, you say reverse. You call the same sort function, and reverse is true. So the reversed is Z, Y, X is sorted. And what is the result of this Python expression? List 2, 3, 4 plus 8 plus empty. Yes. So it should be 2, 3, 4 because empty list is being added, but it has no significant function being added to the end of the list. Okay, so working with the lists. So that was all the basics. I think that mainly we have touched base in the past in here and there with the lists. So a common thing that you might want to a program to do is filter a list. So a filter means that selecting items from the list based on certain conditions or criteria. So let's look at this example. We have numbers 3, 4, 12, 1, and 5. And we say that we have odds. There is another list which we have initialized as an empty list, and we want to go through all the items in numbers, which is our main list. So num would be assuming one element at a time, and we would check whether the num is an odd number or an even number. If it is odd number, we append to the odds. So that way, we create another list, which is odds, which we print at the end from the main list, which would be just picking the odd numbers, right? So this is how you loop through your list items for num in numbers. Okay, num would be assuming, this could be X, Y, I, or anything in the list that would be assuming one value from your list at one time, from starting from the beginning to the end. Okay, another common thing that you might want a program to do is mapping. So let's see one example here. So mapping is when we have a numbers and you want to perform the operation on all the members or all the items of that list. So we have said that we are going to have another list which is doubled, and you are picking each element from the main list, numbers, and you are doubling the number and you are adding it to the doubled item list, and you eventually print that. So that is mapping. So you have mapped from this list to other list. Okay, so this program will not print out double numbers. Why? Because it is just picking the double print double numbers, because it is not mapping, or it is not going to change anything in the actual list. It will be just changing the numbers here. Okay, and even it is not printing the num itself. Okay, but when you are mapping, you are not actually changing the actual list. A file to list. A file can contain many items of data. In many cases, it is useful. Yeah, so when you read that, you represent the data. You can take the data, and that data, especially read lines, that gives us the data in the list. Okay. So we can, or if we want to go manually, say manually, we want to read the data from the file, read line at a time, and we want to save each line, then we can use also lists to store those elements on the lines, on the lines data in the lists. Sorry. Okay, so now here we have some examples. So we have prices, and we see that we have house prices, text data in these are house prices in the text format in this file. So we are reading for line in open house prices.txt. We are not even bothering to have F or file or object. We are straight away opening it, and we are saying that line in that case is that. So we are converting that line, because line would be a text data. We are converting that data into price, and then we are appending that data to our list. So that way we can use lists with files. Okay, now you want the cheapest house price. What you want to do, you want to load the file, you want to append the data, and then you want to sort the file, and then if you say just give us the top 3 cheapest houses, so you sort and you pick or slice the list up to 3 items from 0, 1, and 2. Excluding 3, it'll be printing this from the list. So if you compare that with 64, 647, 647, 500 seems the cheapest, and yes, and 71, 750,000 and 716,000. So yeah. Okay, so we now covered a way of reading the content of a file to list, but what about the other direction, lists and files? So we can use list with writing the file. So we have here in this example, we have prices equals empty empty list here. So line in open, you open a file, and from that you want to read the file, okay? And in that case, you're reading that and you sort the prices. So then you want to write the sorted prices in the output file. Okay, so you have house prices, you want to sort it, you have sorted it, and then from the prices, you want to pick one price at one time, and you say output file, which you have opened in W mod, okay? And then you have used F strings to properly format your file up to 2 decimal places, and you have used \n, and you keep writing them in proper way, one by one from the sorted list, and eventually once the loop is complete, you close the file. Okay.
Pardon, Doctor, could you go back like one slide?
Yes.
The first one we have opened the houses, but we didn't like make like any option, if any like the read mode or write mode for the first one. What is like
Yeah, the default is R mode basically. That's why.
and
But this is not good practice. You have pointed it out. It's not good practice. Whenever you open a file, it should be opened with a proper specific format.
and if you are using like for line and open like in this way, you don't need like to close the file like this.
We should be closing the file. Yes.
Yeah.
In for line in open, every time it goes through the loop, it opens the file. No, if it is 10 times, if it is open 10 times, or either right or is it
No,
open
it's line is assuming because we have opened a file here in the loop.
Yes.
There is one thing is that when you open with the loop, it is not necessary to close the file because it'll be closing once the loop is closed. And it won't be opening, it would only open once, but line would assume 10 different values. As long as soon as the loop is completed, this would be closed automatically. And why we are not closing here specifically because we have not created any object here. Do you see? There is one more. Here we have this out file created, and we can call the function close, but here we do not have that object here that we want to close, so it'll be automatically closed in that case. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
You want to create a list of all the students whose surname begins with the letter N. Should you be mapping and or filtering? Of course, this is a filtering method or filtering. Lists and references. So we have established that the lists are what they are mutable. It means that their content can be changed. So in the earlier lectures, we learned about how variables assignment calls the variable to reference an object. The way we were, you remember that we were creating more references to the same objects. So the same way we can do, or similar ways we can do reference to our list. So for example, here we have got Wiggles and we have Greg, Anthony, Murray, and Jeff. So old Wiggles is Wiggles. Okay, and we say Wiggles 0 is Sam. All right, and when we print old Wiggles, you see the Sam is also printed with the old Wiggles. It means what? When we created here the old Wiggles, it was not actually the new list was created, rather a new reference to the same list was created. Okay. So this is what is happening. Old Wiggles, Sam, and they both are old Wiggles and Wiggles. They are referring to the same variable. And if we want a separate list objects, we can use the copy list method. So if we actually want to have a separate copy of a list, then we use copy method. So let's see here another example. So Wiggles. Oh, now old Wiggles is a copy of Wiggles. In this case, we also change the first item, Wiggles 0, to Sam. And when we print old Wiggles, and this time it's the old Wiggles. Only the Wiggles has changed. The old Wiggles is still Greg, right? Because now a copy was created and the reference, the copy was assigned to old Wiggles. It's not the same thing. Okay, so after this, a new object was created. We changed Wiggles only, and that's it. Okay, since lists are mutable, a function which takes a list and argument. Let's see directly an example for that. So def delete first. My list, we have this list here created 1, 2, 3, 4, and we say print list. It prints, and we say that we want to send the L to the print. The list to the print, and it has changed actually the list. So we haven't actually sent the value or the copy to the function. We have sent a reference. So in fact, this function has got access to this list. So when it deleted the first item, and after that we printed that the actual list had one item deleted from it, right? Now the question, how many list objects are created by the shown program? A is 1, 2, 3, B is 1, 2, 3, and C equals A. D is C copy. How many items are there in this case?
3 items plus 1 is item.
So 3. So we have one item, one list created here, another object here. This is just a reference copied to C, and then we have created a separate copy from C, and we have assigned it to D. It means that A or C, the copy was created and was assigned to D. So in total, there were 3 list objects were created. Okay, write a program to replace each element in a list with its square. So here we are changing, because when we change any item in the list, so it just changes. It's because it is mutable. So it changes its, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And when we replace in the loop, when we loop through the items and we replace the item Li with its square, so the square is instead stored in it. Okay, so write a program to count how many items in a list L are greater than 2. So you want to count, here you are filtering, so you want to count if a list item is greater than 2, you have the count variable which is counting, so you have that and you can print that. And what is the third example? Given a list that contains number between 1 and 10, write a Python program to create a new list X whose first element is how many ones are in L, whose second element is how many twos are in I, etc. So you see we have created 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is how we are appending for I in the list, and item, if item itself is L of I, okay, and we say that the count the item and append it to that, so it keeps appending. Okay, so let me check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, and then we have X is having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Yeah, because there are 2 ones, 2 twos, and how many threes are there? Well, there is, it should be 3, 3, I don't know. 10 is fine, 9 is fine, 3, there should be 3 threes. No, sorry. Because this is third item is again 1, so I was thinking that it should be 3. So 2 ones are again 2. Fours, how many fours? There is only 1 4. There is only, yeah, that's correct. Right. Okay, so some more examples here. What we are doing, we can use these operators that can be applied to the list. So if you multiply directly with the list with one integer or any number, so they would be multiplied like so, or they would be a replication 1 3 1 3 1 3. Or you can, this is concatenation, we have already seen. You can replicate or a list item by, when you say 4, so 4 zeros would be there. And then length, sum, and min and max functions are there, which you can use. We know that their functionality, and we can looping. We have seen looping. We can loop around through the lists. And there are a few more examples. You can look at these. Now, this is the last topic. Any questions so far? From the lists? No questions? I know that this is heavy because this is all the content we have to cover for the module 4. This is what we have in module 4. And I just do not want to miss on anything, though I could shorten that, but then many important things would have been missed from the lecture. So now set is another important data structure. So far we have seen lists. Now set is going to be a little bit different. So we'll see. So a set is a data structure for storing unordered collection of items with unique values. Okay, there won't be any order present in sets, but they would be unique values. So you cannot have duplicates in one in one set. So they are, what are likes list? They have multiple items. The data structure, it can hold multiple items, is mutable. What is unlike a list? The item within a list are unordered. You cannot use indexing in a set. And 2 items with the same value cannot be stored in the same set. Whereas you can have multiple items with the same values in a list. So the purpose of set might not be obvious at first, of course, but we can implement it or use those for many purposes. For example, you want to create blacklists where you want to enter data for blacklisting certain things, for example, websites or some values or anything similar. So there will be only one instance present in that set, even if your system is for example, you design a system which finds threats from certain links, okay, which are being opened in an organization. So every time a threat is found, and if you're maintaining a list, so list would keep growing because maybe that link, that hyperlink is being added multiple times. But what you want to do is you want to just add once in the blacklist, and you can use sets. And once added in the set, it won't grow longer. Maybe it is going to be added, say, thousands of times in that. But that'll be just added in that. And mathematical operations, and like in mathematical sets, we have those in where a set would have only one unique value, or not one, but would have unique values in them. So we have a set of strings, we have a set of integers like those, and sets are represented using these curly brackets. And remember that dictionaries are extension of our sets. Okay, so empty set is when you want to set empty, so you use set and curly brackets. So an empty set is initialized this way. And in sets, items would not have any order. So you initialize a set with cat, duck, and dog, and next moment you want to print it, you would see that the set would be printed this way: dog, duck, and cat. Okay, there is no sorting, nothing, and you cannot use indices with sets. So if you try accessing the first element, I'll be just giving you an error. So here you have my set equals to nap, sleep, eat, sleep. So when you want to, you have created like this, though it won't give you any error, but when you want to print again, you would see that your set would be having the unique values. Sleep would be combined, or the extra sleep would be removed from that. Okay, so converting between sets and lists. If you have a list and you want to filter out multiple values with multiple instances, what you want to do is you create a set out of it. So you say that convert this set into list into set using the set keyword, because it would convert the type into set and you would get a set. Now, next, what you want to do is you want to create a list which is L2 out of that set S. So now you have a very clean list which is only having the unique items from that list. Okay, so this is one way of doing so. The code below removes an arbitrary item. So we have set bam, bang, bing. So we create a list, and we do not know what is going to. We create a list from that set, and you delete 0 from that, and when means the 0th item, or the first item from the list, or the list the item at the 0th index. But as said, that list that it is going to create would be randomly arranged. So it is not that you would be you would be deleting BAM in that case. It's not always possible. So arbitrary, it'll create any list in any order, and when you want to delete from that, so I'll be deleting any random item from the list. So most important set operations are adding an item to the set, removing an item from the set, and checking whether the item is present in that. So we see one by one. So we have colors, red and green. We add colors, add blue, it'll add blue. So colors add blue again, it won't do anything because it keeps the uniqueness of the set. Okay, and remove. So nums, they are different float values, and you want to remove a 1.3. You cannot specify the location of that element. You say remove is specifically 1.3. So it'll remove 1.3. And if you try removing a value from the set which is not there, it'll just be throwing an error in that case.
Doctor, can you go back to slide, please? One more. This one. Once you add the blue, why blue is not added at the end?
That's what is said, that the set won't be adding would not be maintaining any order. So they are unordered data structures. That's why we call them unordered, and that's their feature is.
So we'll never know what will be the
You
index.
won't be able to have their location, their items location anytime. Yeah. So they're random. So that's why if you want to access or find anything specific, you want to mention that item name or item value specifically. So one way is that you want to first check using in keyword. For instance, if you say that there are directions up, down, left, right, okay, and you want to check left in DI directions or DIRs. If it is true, then you can remove it, right, using the remove method. If it is not, then you can leave it so that you do not get any error in that. Forwards in DIRs or directions, false, because it is not there. And you say forward not in DIRs. Yes, it is not in directions, so it gives us true, right? Okay, set item in access. Here we have L equal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we can fetch items from the set one by one. Okay, well, but we are not using any indices. So for a loop would be doing it for us. So one item at one time. So this we can use. Okay, and you can print sets using the print statement. The whole set would be printed. In and not in operators can be used to check if an item is, yeah, so that's what I have explained. If one is in the L or set that contains one, if 6 is in the list that does not is not in L, the set does not contain 6. You can write certain conditions like this. So copying a set, you can copy a set here. Again, these are like the list. So you have L and L2 equal to L, and then you print L2, it will be printing the same elements. You say L2 add 20, and L2 is 20 is added to that, and you print L, even the 20 is added to L because they are the same reference. It was not a new list created in that case, right? And yeah, same as lists, you want to copy. When you copy a set, it would be creating a separate copy and then assigning to L3. Okay, so set common functions like list, we have got length, sum, min, max, and sort. All right, so we have got length of L, it is 4, sum of length, it is 10, and minimum of set, you get 1, maximum of set is 4, and L sorted is sort. Okay, and you print it. And one thing is that when you sort, when we say that they are unordered, after the sort, this sorted, you will see that the sort method would, and it is not the method of of the object, the set itself. This is a separate function which we can use to sort the values, right? And then the returned data structure is what is a list, a new list, and a list, we know that it can be sorted. So if we want to keep this order from the set, the data in certain order, so we want to use the lists. There is no direct way for that. So there are a few methods which you can find for the set. So the important ones are union, intersection, and difference. Symmetric difference is upper set is subset. Okay. So here are some examples you can see. So they are there and they'll be present in the presentation. You can come and review later these programs. So is the user input Fred, will they be welcomed into the party? So we say that we have guests and Tim, Betty, Rod. We say guests add Fred, name input enter. If name in guests, welcome to the party, else print not invited. So if the user inputs Fred, will they be welcome to the party? What do you say?
Yes, because it has been added to.
Yes, because it says in the guest. Now the next part is dictionaries, which is an extension of sets in this case. So, but they are a bit different from the sets, but they can be said they are extensions of our sets. So they have the unique key values. They are key and pair values, and we know from our assessment and from the previous discussions. So there will be it is a data structure for storing associated key value pairs. So each value or each item in a dictionary would have two parts, a key and its value. So keys would always be unique in your dictionaries. Okay. So where we have, let me see. So here we have got an example. So month days, we say January 31, February 28, March 31, and so on. So if you want to print how many days are there in a month, so you want to access the dictionary. So month, days, and you access the value using the key. Okay, so this will be giving us the value regarding January. And when we say month, days, February, so we have mentioned the key, but the value would be returned from that. Okay, like we were using indices in lists, here we mention keys in that case. In Python, we can create a dictionary using curly brackets like so, or even if we want to initialize a variable with an empty dictionary, sorry, then we use open and close curly brackets. So here we have got a dictionary with string keys and values. Bob has got this value, Jim has got this value, or these phone numbers, and here is a dictionary. And in the top example here, you see both keys and values, they are strings, whereas in the second example, 1, 2, 3, and 4 and 5, and their values, they are what? They are basically all numerical values. An empty dictionary can be initialized with curly brackets. So indexing a dictionary with key can be used for getting and setting values, like we use indices with the list. Here we use keys. So for example, we have this subject title CSE 4P semester 1 mod is false, and labs 1 and 2, that is a list. So we say print subject, it'll be printing the whole thing. Okay, and now we say that print title. So it'll be printing the value of the title. We are mentioning the key. Okay, and we have mentioned the labs. It'll be printing 1, 2 is a list, and we want to access just the second lab or the second part from the lab. So we say subject labs, and from that part we are now accessing list using the index. So not 0, rather 1. So 1 is what, 0 is 1, and 1 is 2. So this will be returning us 2. Okay, so now, and you can use get method to get the value of the dictionary. So we have got subject dictionary, and we say that get title. So it'll be printing CSE5APG in that case. Okay. Okay, so if a key does not exist in the dictionary setting, its value will add a new item to the dictionary. And we have seen in our first assessment, if that was not there, the first time we were entering any value, if you want to set the value would be added if the key is not there. So we have got pet dictionary, we name as Fido and legs are 4. So pet, and we print it, and it's printed as such. So we say that pet color equals brown. The color was not there, and once we have executed this command and we want to print pet, it prints color brown has been added. So if we want to change the value of legs to 3, so now poor Fido has got 3 legs. So you see that legs are now 3. We can amend the values the way we were using indices with the list. Here we are using keys. Okay, so getting values, keys, return the values of all the keys. So let's see, get all keys. Subject, we have got subject, and we want to find a list of keys. So there would be subject keys. So we will get a list of all the keys in the list, and then you can access all the items from that. So get all values. So when you use this method, so it will be returning only a list of values rather than keys. And when we say items, it will be giving you what? It will be giving you keys and a list of keys and its values. And that's dot items method is we are using in our looping for our assessment tool. Okay. So indexing by an existing key will result in associated values. So here we have example num equal 1, 1, 2, 2, and 3, 3. So we say num 2, and num 0 is going to give us an error because it is not existing. Okay. So first we want to find, you can use in keyword. So if it is there, then you can. The del keyword can be used to delete item from the dictionary. So you delete nums 1. So the key and the value for 1 would be deleted from the list this way. Iterating over dictionaries. So we have this context, a dictionary. So we say that we want to use a for loop. So we would be using 2 variables in here in context.items because it'll be returning us a list of what keys and values. So the first variable would be assuming 1 by 1 would be assuming the key, every key in the dictionary, and the second its associated value, and you want to print that. So you say Bob's phone number is this and Jim's phone number is this. So name and phone would be assuming or would be assigned these keys and their relevant values one by one, and they'll be printed like so. And then there are methods in and not in can be used the same way we use with sets. And change item value, we can change the value of a specific item. All right, so and by using the key name, so here we have number equals 10, but we want to change it to 60. We say that subject number should be changed to 60. So now it has changed to 60. We just need to remember that with the dictionaries, rather than indices or a specific index, we have keys. And update item value. So here, what do? We have subject, and you say you want to update. This is just another method. You want to update this number and 80. So it'll be updated. Number and 80 would be updated in your dictionary. Okay. Add item. You can add item to the dictionary. So here we have add item, and this what is the function here? We have a subject year to 2022 and print subject, and this is printing the whole thing. So update the lab and print subject. I think it's the same example pretty much. Yes. And yeah, so in update here, that is the difference. If you directly want to access the update, which is not there, the key which is not there, that could be an error. Or the same way, if we were adding without, we were adding a dictionary, we were adding an item in a dictionary which did not have any item already existing. So we were using its key. Here we are using the update item. So if the lab key is already there, its value would be changed to 12 p.m. If it is not there, it'll be rather added in the dictionary. So that is the difference between the second last and the last example. So we can remove item using the pop. So we say that remove the pop semester 1, so it'll be removed from the dictionary. Okay. And remove item, we can use pop item to remove the last inserted item, or a random item would be. So rather, we want to remove the specific item, so that we should use the key. Otherwise, the last item added would be removed. Okay, remove item. We can use del keyword. So del, and from the subject we want to delete the sem key. So semester would be deleted. So remove all item clear. So you say the subject dot clear. So when you print, everything would have been already deleted from that. Okay, so we have got length, sum, and min and max functions, which you can use with the dictionaries as well. Okay, and copy a dictionary. Same way we were copying lists and we were copying our sets, we can use copy. So we have subject and S equals subject. We pop an item from S and we print that. We say that now the popped item was year 2020 entry was popped, and now print S, only the remaining items are printed, and print subject title CSE 4 IP semester 1, that'll be printed. Okay, because they are practically the same dictionaries, S and subject, because they were sharing the reference. Now here we have copied S1, the subject. Now we pop an item from S1 and we print S1. It is just title, and the title has been popped, and now we print the subject, but the subject is still having the 4 values or 2 items in it. Okay. We can have nested dictionaries. We have created nested dictionaries in our assessment 2 task 1. Okay. We can loop through dictionaries using for loop, which we have seen already. So for items in subject, so print items, and if we just have only one variable in loop, so it'll be just giving us the keys for the dictionary. Okay, so if we want to have 2, then you want to go to subjects dot items this way, and you need to use 2 variables, x and y. So x would be having the key and y would be having the value. Okay, so now this is an example program which is for which basically reads the word dot text and finds that what is the most frequent word in that. So here we have an example. So we say that duck is the word which appears most of the times, and it is appearing 3 times. Okay. So we have got input. The word is contained in the text in we need to input the file basically, and we want the most frequent words. Okay, so let's rather go to the program. So we have got here play. So this is what we are doing, is we are counting the words every time that the word is arriving. Okay, so now let's see, we have this program. So we open a program, or a file in the program word.txt, and we have a dictionary counts equal to nothing or a blank dictionary. So we read from the file and we filter the file word in counts. So count is a variable, and we say that word is 1. So if the word has arrived at least once, so we initialize it with or with the 1. Else old count is counts dot word, and count words equal to old count plus 1. So whatever the word was already there, we are adding 1 to it. Okay. So now what happens is when we open the file, max count is 0 and is 3, and so basically a dictionary is being maintained, and its value for each word, if the word is not there, the word is added. The idea is that word is added to the dictionary, and then if the word is appearing multiple times, because we would have a dictionary of those words, and the value would be the count of that. So the count would be increasing. So here we have the complete program. Okay, so we open the file. In the file, we have we're reading the word, and if word not in counts, we say that initialize the word with 1, else old counts equal count words. It means that if the word is already there, right, and you say that the count words is now count old count plus 1, right? You can simplify this statement into into one statement if you like, and max count is 0. So this part is doing what? This is reading the file and counting the words. Now we want to process the already created dictionary. So we say that max count is 0 and max word is nothing at the moment. So now we want to iterate through the created dictionary. So if the count is greater than max count, so we update our max count and max word, all right? So we start with 0, and if, of course, every item is every word is at least appearing at least once. So there'll be every word in the dictionary would be having value more than 0. So if anything is more than max count, so max count would be updated every time, and the relevant word would be updated and that way that we will be printing the max count and the max word. So, okay, so this is all right. So this was all about today's lecture. That was mainly all the data structures we have covered. All right. Now, if you have any questions, you are more than welcome. I know that you would have been extensive and exhausting, but if uh, uh, if you have lost the focus a little bit, you can go and read not read, sorry, um, view the recording. Actually, I'm myself exhausted a little bit. All right, any questions? Yeah, I think it should be helpful if you have at least attended or would be viewing the recording. It could be helpful rather than going through the extensive LMS content. Hopefully, we have seen the programs and all that, and we will strengthen all the learnings using our lab programs. Do we have the week 6? We do not have any lecture next week. All right, so we will be having next one on when? I'll be having next one on 7th of April, right? And one more thing is that you must be aware, I sent a message, so our final exam is going to be on 20th April from 4:30 to 7 p.m. So that is worth noting and keeping it in mind. And yeah, thank you very much. And I'm now closing this lecture, and I'll be available for 10 minutes for because this has taken all the time. I'll be available in the consultation session for 10 minutes. If you have any question, please join me there. Otherwise, would like to see you on Thursday evening.
I have a very last simple question.
Yes.
Yes. Now, when you use the get command of dictionary, and you can give a default, no? If it is not there, give me 6 or something like that. Can that be used in the assignment?
In assignment, you can use anything. Yeah.
Right.
There is no restriction. This time, there is no restriction. Anything from the content can be used.
All right, that's fine.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All good. And we'll be doing some more programming regarding the assessment. So in the last one, we programmed how to read the data, rather we read the data. We created our classes. We mentioned that how we can check for the duplicates and all that. And we even programmed for the first task a little bit of processing, rather the first part of the task was completed where, and for those who do not know, the coding we did is now the part of your template. You can go and check that. The code has been added to the template. The updated template is available with the updated code the last week. So we will be doing a little bit more programming. Specifically, we'll be programming the search function in the task 2. And the rest is, I think, that simple. You can do a little bit programming and aggregation for the first part, and the second part is not that complicated. You just need to maintain data structures, add items, just verify and do a little bit of data validation so that no wrong data is going to be entered. No blank items are going to be entered where they should be present. Right. Okay, all good then, and thank you very much. And
Dr. Noor, just one question regarding the final exam. You mentioned that it's on 20th of April. Did you send any email or?
I just sent a notification on the discussion forum. So a
Oh,
copy
okay,
is
okay.
usually received in the
Sure.
email as well to all. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Good. Thank you very much, and see you on
Thank you very
Thursday.
much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.